Good morning, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to Grumman Pilot's YouTube channel. And today we're going to talk about one painting option. It's called sand and scuff. We're not going to strip the airplane completely down and rebuild up the paint. We're going to sand it and scuff it and put paint over it. It won't last as long, but let's talk about some of the options. So we would like to ask you please subscribe, hit the like button, and hit the notify to stay current with our content. Now, one of the first things we did was we took a good profile picture of the airplane with the standard paint job, and then we put it into Photoshop, and we began eliminating things and seeing what lines we wanted to keep. And what we decided we wanted to get rid of the fake windows that were behind the rear windows. We don't have three windows. We have a canopy window and a rear window. We don't have a third one back there, so why have a fake one painted? And we were also going to remove the running tiger from the front of the airplane, and then the new paint job was going to extend all the paint lines of the original scheme all the way up to the nose. So let's take a look at how it all got sanded down. Now the basics is we used the rougher grits and then the finer grits. We started with 80 and 100, then we went to 150, then we went to 220, and then we went to 320. And the whole purpose of each grit is you sand with like 80, and then you use 100 to remove all the 80 marks, and then you use 150 to remove all the 100 marks. So by the time you get to 320, you're not leaving a whole lot of marks in the airplane, and that's all you're really doing. We used the rougher papers to remove the decal and the fake paint window in the back. But anyway, we used the same technique when we were on the main fairings. Now, while we were scuffing up the entire airplane, we also did all the fairings. We took them down. We had to get a good place so we could do all the repairs in the Bondo, repair all the cracks, so that when we went to put paint on there, we'd have a nice smooth surface to show a good reflection when we put the stripes in it. So we also did the fairings at the same time. And then while we were doing the main fairings, after we finished that part of it, we went on into the interior, and we took all the plastic out, repaired all the pieces, we painted it and primed it and got it back in the airplane using the Sim plastics, and you know what, it came out looking pretty good. Now at the time in 1998 we did it in the beige, and we redid it back in 2018 or 2019 in white. Also during this process we wanted to have a new windshield, so we got out the old cloudy green one that came with the airplane, and we put in a new solar gray, and it took about 2 days to fit it and sit it in the airplane. But when we were all done with that part, it looked pretty good. And you know, the nice thing is if you take your time and you do all your prep work, you're going to get a good product out of the deal. And here is the Tiger in 1998 sitting on the ramp at Cody right before the big convention there that year. So when we were doing our sanding, let's talk a little bit about what we spent on products as part of the process. Well, first thing is you're going to want to use or buy a respirator because you don't want to be breathing all that dust in. Then we spent about $47 on all the various sanding discs that went on the DA sander. Then we spent about $30 on solvent. Paper and tape, $100 for all the masking. Interior paint, $40 including the cleaners and the clear. Exterior paint, $1,600, and that was all in an Emron. And then at the time from Aerographics out west, we bought an entire set of interior decals for $75. And then we had the external decals, the new end numbers we put on the airplane. And those were done by a local stencil shop in Dayton for about $245. But when you're all done, here's what it looked like. And the only thing that we kept in the original position were the small end numbers up on the tail, because someday it'll qualify for it. But then again, you look at your prep work. We did a new windshield, a new dorsal fin. We did a left outboard wing section. Let me add one thing on the dorsal fin. It was one of my first big contributions to the Grumman gang back in the day. I wrote it all up and I submitted it to the Grumman gang. It's in the archive somewhere, so if you want to read all the detailed steps, and be sure you go from the left side to the right side of the dorsal fin so that you don't get any ripples or any bends in it. Don't ask me how I know that one, but then again, you won't have to redo all the rivets. But anyway, all that is in the Grumman gang archive, and it's out there. And again, thanks Mark Matthews for maintaining all of that for us. We did all the interior plastic fixing and painting, and we also did all the exterior painting, including the masking and putting the end numbers on there. And here's what the finished product looks like with the tarp, and here it is sitting right outside of the main gate at the Cody Airport, right there in July of 1998. Now, what kind of time did we spend on this project? Now, we didn't do everything back to back. This took over a couple of weeks, but we spent 6 hours that one day just sanding the airplane down. The windshield took 2 days to fit and get it ready to go back in after the paint job was done. The new dorsal fin took an entire day to take the old one off and get the new one fitted. The left panel on the wing took 4 hours. The interior took 2 days to fit, trim, and get it all ready to go back in. And we spent 2 days painting the exterior, so we came up with a nice product. So that's kind of what our timeline was on the paint job. And again, here's a picture in Cody with the sun on it nicely, showing kind of how it all worked out. So, and then, ladies and gentlemen, it was a fun project. I'm kind of glad I did it. The paint job lasted about 22 years. Here it is on the cover of the Star back in 2002. Paint job still holding up really well. So I had a lot of fun doing this. I hope this gives you all the information in terms of money and time that you'll need to accomplish it if you want. And again, ladies and gentlemen, we hope you found all this useful and informative. Say hello to my old cat Jetson. Thanks for watching, and have a great day flying your Grumman. Forget buying expensive toys for your kittens and cats. We find that just taking the aircraft spruce box and the paper on the tile floor is more than enough amusement for them for hours.